Welcome to Coders Digest, and I expect that you all are doing good. So, in today's videos, I will explain what are temporary tables. I expect that if you have been working on Microsoft SQL Server, then you must have come across the term called temporary tables. So today we will go in depth like what those temporary tables are, and we will try to understand those. Okay, so let me open a PPT. So this PPT says what are temporary tables? So it means that temporary tables are useful when processing data, especially during transformation, where the intermediate results are transient. Now you need to understand it that temporary tables are actually not stored in the database. Like they are stored, but for a temporary period. Those are not permanent tables we create, like we generally use. So then why do we need them? Like you can say that we already have a permanent table. Why do we need a temporary table? So the logic behind that is that suppose if you huge data, you have a huge data and you want to do some processing on that. So how do you do that? Will you do all your calculations on the whole table? So a better approach is that you create a temporary table, you filter your data according to your requirement, and then you dump the data into a temporary table, and then you do your logic, your performance, or whatever the operation you want to do on that particular temporary table. And then after let's say you want to display that result, or you want to put it in a report or somewhere. So in those terms, temporary tables are very useful. So, and what is the limitation of temporary table? So if we talk about limitation of temporary table, and even it is not a limitation, it is a feature actually. So these are actually available only in a session. So now again, if you go into more deep, then temporary tables are again of two types: local and global. So those are two types. Local temporary tables. Let me show you first the syntax also. So let me show you here. So this is the syntax for creating a local temporary table. So here is you see we have one hash symbol in front of the table name. So what is a local temporary table? It is actually a table which stays in a session of the current user or the user who has created it. Okay, maybe it is a bit confusing now, but stay with me. It will all make sense in the end. Okay, so the local temporary table stays in session for the user who has created it. Now, when we talk about global temporary table, so global temporary table is, you can see here the syntax, like it is created with two hash symbols ahead of the table name, and it is, it remains in the session if any of the session is connected to this table. So as I told you earlier, that the local temporary table was destroyed or was dumped when the session which created it is offline. But in case of the this global temporary table, it remains in the session until even a single connection is connected with the stable. Okay, and also the time, if we talk about specific time, then there is a 24-hour time. These remain in the session. Let's say any session is connected with the table, then it will remain available for 24 hours. Okay, so there are two conditions then. Even like, let's say, even if only one connection is connected, or it will stay for 24 hours. Okay, so now I will demonstrate you how in my SQL Server. So let me open my SQL Server here. So just give me a moment, please. So here is I have opened my SQL Server. So now this is my database. So first of all, let me create a table. So let's say I want to create a table. Let's say I am creating a table, create table student. Okay. Sorry, not this way. Let me write a query. Oh, my mistake. New query. Okay. So let me do that. I will do create table student. Cool. Now what I want, what variables do I want? Let's say I want an ID which is of integer type, and this is not null. Okay, second thing I want is name. So name is a reserved variable, so let me change it to varchar Let me give it 20. Sorry if you have a very long name, so I have given it a length of 20. Okay, so id name, then what we can have, let's say we definitely we will have a gender. So again, let me copy this where 20. Okay, now, oh, now again, let me, what it can have, id name, gender, age. It will have an age, and after age we will have marks. So marks also, it will be integer. You can make it null or non-null, not null as you require, but I am just making it for the purpose of demonstration. So as of now I don't have any table. Let me create this table. So you can see my table should have been created. Okay, I do have a table now. So let me fill it with the data. Let me just comment it out and insert into student. Okay, values. So what do I want? Let's say 1. Then I have name. Let's say name is Ojas and gender is male. Male. Age is 25. Marks are 450. Okay. Now let me just copy it so that I can create some more records. Let me copy it a few times. Let me change the IDs. So here I have not made any primary keys also, so please understand that it does not make any sense as of now, like it is for demonstration purpose only. So let me create some more users. Let me say I created John, who is 24 years old and he has 480 marks. Let's say we have a student Priya, she is a female and she has the age of 26. Marks are 455. Now we have what's it say, Danny. Danny is a male, 26. Or let me just do it like Kashmi. Let's just do it Kashmi. And what key you can have. So okay, let's keep it short. Okay, so let me just insert some values here. So what, I missed something. Okay, so now we have inserted 5 rows, sorry, we have inserted 5 rows. So now if we see our table, let me just see what do we have here. So we have these 5 rows here. Okay, so now let's say it is a very small table for purpose of demonstration. Let's say you have a table which has millions of records. So let's consider it that scenario. So actually, as I work on financial domain, so I come across this thing very much, and I have used temporary tables uh, to like very much. I have very much used a temporary table. So when do we use that? So let's say I have these million of records and I want to do some uh, some uh, operation on that. Let's say I have employees salary in USD. For some reporting I want to convert it to INR. It can be done by a query also when you are extracting the data. But actually these are other kind of operations also. Like you want to do some complex operations and then store your data into some other table. Let's say you want to dump it into some other table, or you want to do a reporting on that. So on those purpose you will find it extremely helpful. So now let me do one thing. Let me just get this data into a temporary table. So how do we do that? So let me just simple write a select query. So select, let me see what I want to select. Let's say I want to select name. Okay, name, Okay, let me select id also. Id, name, age, okay, and marks from student. Let me just copy, no issues. From student, select is into. Now let's say I want to name this as female. So I want to, let's say I want to do some operation on the I want to perform some operation on female students, or like the result set of female students. So I have extracted the data here, and then I will do where gender equals to female. Let me see if I miss something here. Do I have gender? Okay. Okay. So basically we were having two female students here. So you can see that it is saying that two rows affected. Now I have created the name as female student. So now let me see if do I have the data here. So let me just comment it out and let me write a select state. Select as from female students. So now if you see that, I can see there are two rows here. Okay, and now you would like to know that where is this record, I mean, residing. So if you want to see it, just go to system database, temporary db, and in temporary tables. So you can see that you can see your female student table here. Okay, create a global temporary table. Now to create a global temporary table, what I just discussed, that we need to use a double hash symbol. So I have kept everything almost same. Just I have used the double hash symbol, and I have named it as female student 2. So let me run this command. So once I run this command, you can see we have created a new table. So now let me refresh the database. Okay. So now if I go to tempdb, and if I go to temporary tables, you can see we have two tables now. One is with single hash symbol, one is with double. So this one is our local temp table, this one is our global temp table. So now let me show you what did I mean when I told you that the local temporary table is accessible through the session which is created. So let me create a new window. So this new window is a new session. So let me just write a select query. Select extract from, let me say, female student. Okay. Now, if I write this, you see that I'm getting an error. The error says that uh, the object name is not available. So let me go to the session where I created it. So now let me try and run it from here. Let me try and run it from here. So you can see that I can access our local temporary table from the session which created it, but I cannot access it from any different session. Now let me do one thing. Let me see if we can access our global temporary table from here. So let me just use double hash sign and let me name as a female student 2, because I created with the name of female student 2. You can see it here also. Now if I run it from here, you can see that I am able to retrieve the result set. So that is basically the different. The difference is that we can access the global temporary table outside of the current session which has created it. So then how is it important? Let's see if you are running a procedure or creating something, and just you are using the table just in that particular procedure or query, then it is fine. But if you need to access it from other some query or other procedure also, then you have to use a global temporary table. Okay, so this is basically the difference between the local and global temporary table. I hope it all makes sense now. So thanks for watching this video, and if you liked it, please press the like and share button, and also please subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.